So people, let's have a look how the body really moves here through the golf ball. We've got one major checkpoint, one simple basic checkpoint for all golfers here. And if you get this right, it's going to give you such a dynamic impact position and make your ball striking so much easier. And later in the video, we're looking at the Xander Schauffele drill here. Can't wait to show you that one. It's going to really free up the entire motion through the golf ball. People, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Right, let's get started. So guys, this is really interesting when you're building a station, and you can be inventive, you can use all sorts of things. One of the great things about working on your ankle, your knee work, and your tilts here through the golf ball, it just has a great effect on your impact position and your consistency. Now you can head off to the hardware store. I got these in a German shop. I'm currently in Germany, and you go to a thing called Tomb Markt, right? You go to this big place and you got like this, it's for plumbing and certain things, but I use stations like this. You don't need two, but you can stick something in the ground behind you. What I do a lot of the time is I put a shaft in there. All right, just if I'm working on my right leg or something like that. Now, obviously when we're getting in with the hip being nice and deep and this right knee staying in, it really helps players get down closer to the original shaft plane. Now, there's not much spoken about the original shaft plane on YouTube these days. There's a lot of interesting information out there, but when we're looking at the best players, the best ball strikers, what we generally see is this incredible ability, like a computer chip in the brain, to get down closer to the original shaft plane. Now, this original shaft plane, getting closer to it, what it enables to do, the more that you lift or push forwards or extend, the more the handle will tend to lift up, and then you have to like bow it down. It makes the release really difficult. It makes the release hard to release the club freely and on the correct plane. Let's now have a quick look at the original shaft plane before we have a look at a feel here through the ball and how we can all improve our impact position and through swings to hit the ball more effectively. So people, how many times have we seen this over the years with the great ball strikers, the greatest ball strikers? Look at that, knee staying in behind the toe line, hip deep, back down to the original shaft plane. The closer you get to this position, the better you're going to hit the golf ball. Have a look at Sam Snead, one of the greatest hitters ever. Same thing, knee behind the toe line, hip deep. Guys, this is the stuff you've got to work on. This is the good stuff. Now, before we have a look at the Xander Schauffele drill and the one move to improve everybody's impact position, let's have a look on the amateur on the right of the screen here, because this is affecting just so many people out there, isn't it? Hips moving towards the ball, head moving up and getting into impact. This is really going to lift up the shaft. Have a look at that, 62 degrees. I use a lot of numbers like this when I'm doing my online lessons because it's just well outside the average. And from here, you're just not going to create any consistency. In fact, your only consistency will be your inconsistency. It's really important to use some training aids, some devices, and understand how your body works more effectively through the ball. So guys, can you hear that? Right, so how good is the rhythm, the timing in your swing? We're going to look at the hips now, right? The hips in the downswing. It's one of those questions. Everyone's sort of asking, how does it start? How does it work? Like, I'm going to do a half swing now, right? And get the flow of this. Right? Getting the speed almost looks like I know what I'm doing, but don't be fooled. Now this flow, getting some timing in your swing and getting your sequence right, it's often more important than positions. Now we're going to take a look now at some pros versus amateurs, and we're going to have a look exactly when it starts, this right leg and how the hips move, before we come back here and have a quick look at how we can simply feel this, not overanalyze it, and all get some better flow, a better impact position, and a much dynamic through swing to help us hit the ball much more effectively. So guys, let's have a look at what really happens in the downswing here. Look at the initial move. Now there's a lot said about what happens, what starts, how does it work. Have a look at this right leg moving towards the finish line. Right, that's the first part of the downswing here. The right knee beats the hands. There's your sequence and timing in your downswing. This gives you lateral shift, helps with compression, and also helps you turn. Have a look at Xander Schauffele, massive shift forwards, isn't it? Look at that right knee heading, the knee's closing up here, people. This is a really important part to notice in the golf swing. And they're all doing it, right? So the closer you get to this position, the better you hit the golf ball. Fortunately, amateurs are not getting close to this. Now, the amateur players, they just don't realize this movement in the swing. It's like their right leg is frozen, just doesn't move, and the hands are always winning the race to the finish line. It's just making a mess of their impact positions and preventing golfers from reaching their potential. And it's not just high handicapper players. This is the thing. It's affecting so many golfers and just creating a collision course, flipping fat shots and thin shots. My first coach showed me David Armstrong. He played in a few British Opens and won a whole bunch of tournaments. Really great ball striker, still is. And what he showed us was to get the right hand to hit the right knee. All right, so as you're coming through, you're getting that knee and that hand to move in timing. Really just trying to keep, also obviously when you're doing it, you're trying to keep the knee inside your toe line as well. But getting this right knee, amateur players, they're just too late. They're bringing their right knee, unfortunately, well after. And really it's just a flow and a movement thing. And it's almost like dancing. And if you practice it and get the beat and get the flow, I mean, it's a pretty easy way to go about it. But get stuck into that. Think of it more as a beat, a timing, clicking your fingers, hitting your leg and getting that knee to the finish line before your hands do. So people, how do we feel what the great players are doing through the golf ball? Well, this is a great exercise to feel that. Simple, easy to do, and it's also like a little bit of a test to see what your range of movement is like with your body. Right, so this is what we're going to do. Take your alignment stick, your tour stick, and jam it into the ground. Now you get 1 foot length away. Right, then you put your left foot or your lead foot that 1 foot length away and get your toes set up on the line of that tour stick. Put your hands on the outside of your thighs. You're going left hand, left hip, and we're closing up the gap with this knee. Right, once again, left hand, left hip, the gap between your knees is closing, and what we're going to do is trying to reach down as far as we can on this stick to get great bends through your body. Now you see where my lead shoulder is. It's as far away from my big toe as I can possibly get it, closing up the gap with the knees. The knees are closing and this is extending. How low down can I touch this stick? And then simply take your club and hit a golf ball. Use the same feels as you're reaching down for something as this left side's extending and these knees are closing up. Your footwork's going to look great, the lead shoulder's going to look great. You're going to get yourself into a much more effective position so that we have the appropriate amount of tilt and turn, which affects your plane, your path, your impact, and gives you a much freer way through the golf ball. So people, when we're looking at the world's best ball strikers, what do we see? We see movement down, a slight movement downwards. The PGA Tour average is 2 to 3 inches of movement down. Now, why do they do this? So this is why they do it. Let's look at what the best ball strikers in the world are doing. They've got 4 to 6 inches of lateral shift. They've got 12 degrees of shaft length, and now have a look at that. The club head is in the air. When I get shaft length, I actually shorten the radius of my swing. So I've got to get down just a little bit to get to the bottom of the ball. So for a lot of people out there really struggling to get shaft length, you want to force just a little bit of movement downwards through the golf ball. So let's have a look at a feel now as we move through the ball. So people, forwards, down and under. Forwards, down and under. The move of the great players, we see it from the top of the swing. We're seeing movement forwards, down, but we're seeing the move underneath. Now, a couple of great ways to feel this through the golf ball is like an uppercut move, popping the left hand on top of the golf club, closing up the gap of your legs, having this left side extend. As you're moving forwards and under, this right side is shortening. From here, we just don't get pulled off the shot. It's important to look at the footwork here and keeping your toes and your left foot firmly planted on the ground so that we don't get lifted up, ripped off and pulled off the shot. Forwards, down and under. Moving through the golf ball in this fashion, getting a forwards and underneath move right hand, right knee, left hand, left hip, having your hands level, right hand, right knee, left hand, left hip, moving forwards and under, supplies us with so many different tilts through the golf ball. It really is a fantastic move in your golf swing. It just enables so much freedom and space rather than getting this right hip to ride high.
Voted Best Swing Analysis and Best Online Instruction by several independent surveys. World Class Golf Instruction is transforming thousands of golfers at every skill level. Do not miss out. This video platform has over 1,400 videos and 85 separate masterclass series. The most structured and detailed video platform ever created, improving golfers on average between 4 and 11 shots. Join the chat room and join the community of world-class golf instruction. This is golf instruction that you've never seen before. The proven PGA corridors, factual evidence-based material. Unleash your true potential with the cutting-edge swing analysis technology. Experience the thrill of progress with the state-of-the-art practice programs and specialized golf fitness plans. Best information available.
So guys, two ways we can look at this drill. This is just incredible, this drill here. What we're going to do first off is take your address position, get the palm of the left hand on the grip and just lift it up, all right? Now what we're going to look at doing is when we move through the golf ball is get this left hip to move backwards in this direction while your right foot's on the ground. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to stretch your legs here, it's going to pull your legs back, it's going to give us some space, it's going to help us to extend up, okay? Now with the left hand on the golf club here, what it does is it lifts up the left side. Now you can do it like this, or you can simply do it without a golf club. Hold up your left hand so it points about 1 yard over the golf ball and get a feeling. It really is an unbelievable way to get and keep your legs back. We see so many players extending these legs back in here. It's a great way to keep your left shoulder up, because when we do this, we have really great tilts. And if you're out on the golf course sometimes, you just hold your left hand out and just get this side to move in. You get certain feels and sensations connect to one. That's a great way to stop early extending and help us get into the zone and feel what great players are really doing.
Now, tee to green, Scotty Scheffler is the world's best ball striker. Garcia is on the left of the screen, statistically the best or the second best iron player in the last 20, 25 years. Just incredible ball strikers. So Sergio Garcia has heaps of lag and a big, big angle. Look at that, insane angle coming down. And you would have to probably agree with me, club players or your amateur golfers, they can't do that, right? 98% of club golfers lose their angles coming down. They lose the angle between the shaft and the shoulder, like Scotty Scheffler. Okay, they don't have this angle here. Now, when we lose this angle, what happens is that the club lands most times quicker on the ground. We start to flip and add artificial loft. We can hit it thin. We don't get compression. Now, 99% of amateur golfers lose their angles coming down. This is where I've helped so many people with online lessons. This part of the swing, have a look how wide the downswing is here. Now, Scotty Scheffler is obviously one of the best hitters in the world, right? Now, what's the difference? Well, he's moving through the wall. That you can see that, right? So when you move through the wall, you'll get more shaft lean. And your low point is further left, so you get compression. Have a look at his lead foot. Look how he rolls on the outside of the foot. Now, that's old school. We almost lose some instruction through a generation. And we were taught to roll on the outside of our lead foot. The amateur players, actually, when they get at the top of the swing, they roll back. See how the foot, there's no weight on it, slips back in the, look at his foot. See how it slips back in the other direction, right? So by rolling on the outside of your foot, we're seeing this with people that swing wide, right? We've seen it time and time again. Great ball strikers, wide down swings, rolling on the outside. It's like a prerequisite. It's like, look, if you swing wide, you got to get across, roll on the outside of your foot, arch your back a little bit here, people. Right? We're seeing the amateur golfers with every single one. It's every single amateur player that you film has a wide downswing coming down, and they don't move through the wall. Now, we have to understand this, and we'll see just time and time again, unbelievable ball strokes, really wide, and then rolling on the outside of the foot. Let's see how we can get this into the swing, right? Get it into your action. It's simple, it's basic, it's the stuff that helps. Send your swing through to me for an online lesson. I will get you moving in the right direction. Invest in your golf, guys, an important part. All right, let's get stuck into it.
Now, the drill that we're going to look at here is moving through the golf ball. We're going to roll, deliberately roll on the outside of this lead foot. We're going to get this right thigh and knee to move inwards in an internal type of fashion here. We're going to get this right leg to move in. We don't want to be moving up and out of it. Just the worst thing we can do. So we're going to get this right leg to move in, and we're going to roll onto the outside of the lead foot. Now, when you've rolled onto the outside of your lead foot, it's a guarantee that you've had lateral shift. And as I said, the more lateral shift you have, the more shaft lean you will get. Let's have a look how we can practice this move. Now, through the golf ball, here, I'm just going to move through. I'm not going to hit it hard. We'll just move through the golf ball. And you can just see, well, I'll stop there. If you can see, I've rolled onto the outside of my lead foot. Can you see that? Now, this is a thing where I see a lot of amateur golfers, they really struggle with. Now, if you can get this right leg to push in, and we can roll on the outside of this foot, all we need to do really is have our upper body pretty straight without having your chest too far in front of your belt buckle here. If you can just get quite a nice straight finish, you've got your lateral shift, you're moving across, you're covering, and you're getting shaft lean.